Well, everybody, welcome to our little Monday shindig here. The lovely and talented Edward Milewski is not only my co-host today, but also my number one guest. In fact, he's going to be my guest for all of 1 hour. Today, we're going to get to the bottom of the things that make Edward Milewski tick. We're going to find out about the first time he got laid, the last time he got laid, his first drink, the first time he barked on his shoes. It's going to be a hell of a show, I say.
Wow, I don't know if I can live up to that introduction. Scrutiny, yeah.
Yeah, wow,
so what happened to, right away, got to ask, what happened to CannTrust on Friday afternoon late? The thing shot from 280 to 440 or 450 like it was a 440 dash or something. Like, it just zipped. It must have been a rumor of a takeout, no? We'll talk about it later.
I wonder myself what the hell's going on there. Way to jump right in there.
Hey, look at Flour. Flour, I just say going by. They just closed their funding at 410. Yep. Currently trading 356. So that's not kosher.
That'll learn them.
They're getting education on Bay Street.
How much did they
43 million.
43 million.
At 410, which included...
Well, so they were first shooting for $120 million on a bought deal.
On a bought deal.
They cut the price down, now they got 43.
They got 43.
What that is? That is a ship too late to save a drowning witch. That's what that is.
You have trouble pronouncing your B's?
No, that's seriously. That's poor guys.
Wow.
I'm concerned now for their future.
But the fact is, the bought deal meant that they done the deal. Like
did the deal. Then they took the deal away from them.
And they got less, and they did it lower, and still can't hold the price.
Stock tanked.
And the twat got sank.
The twat got sank. God, that bastards.
Okay.
Shows him.
And as we sit here today, James, yes. I have to bring it to your attention the fact that gold, if it closed here today, would be a new short-term high. It's currently 1523, 1524 on the December contract month.
No shit.
That is, again, I think the previous high to that was about 1521.
No
so
shit.
We've gone through that again, and it looks like it's
setting another high.
It looks like it just can't stop here, which suggests the world's getting tired of fiat currencies.
Getting tired of all their bullshit.
All the printing.
You know, it's funny. So 3 banks last week raised the rate on a surprise basis without any knowledge.
No, lowered the rate.
Lowered the rate.
Jeez,
cut the rate.
They raised what?
Cut the rate.
What planet are you from?
No, I know. Well, it's raise, cut, lower. It's just so damn confusing. Yeah. I can't keep up with it. So the Bank of New Zealand cut their rate by 50 basis points without any preamble, without any warning, without any discussion, dialogue with the media. Bank of Thailand and the Bank of India also lowered their rates on a surprise basis. Now, I find this interesting that some of the earliest markets of the market trading day would be the ones to,
like Australia,
cut their rates.
Maybe they got a phone call in the night, as you suggested.
That's what I'm thinking. So, and then now, if we look at the S&P, what do you got? We've got S&P is selling off again.
Yeah. You know, I think we're going to look at the S&P later.
And as a result,
gold's going up.
Gold's going up.
No, I think this is on. You know, look at me. Look, see how I'm connected here. Try and break that. Oh, by the way, you said the word raise. I just want to bring out that raise, R-A-Z-E, means to level, and raise means to, it means same pronunciation, different spelling, opposite meanings.
R-A-Z-E.
Raise, to raise a building. That means to level it.
Flatten the fucker.
And then raise a barn means to build a barn.
So would you like to have a raise?
I'm not so sure. You could be being a little too clever for me.
Well, fortunately, to raise is a verb, and a raise is only a noun when it's used in the context of an increase.
Right.
So
but to raise a barn or to raise the house because of a tornado.
Well, the tornado does the raising.
Yeah, it raised it.
The demo crew does the cleaning up. High trades on the CSE at this hour. Oh, you're probably wondering what kind of show we're going to have today. Well, we're going to have a very lean, mean stock picking machine.
Yeah, we're
show.
going to go through lots of charts.
Lots of charts, and no guests. We've decided, you know what?
We're the guests.
We don't need any guests. We're going to be the guests.
Take a guess.
We're going to try it for one day. Until you tell us what you think at home there. Log into the YouTube chat group there at youtube.com/Midas Letter. And in that control room over there, the lovely and talented Alex Roberts and Suzanne Garcia are standing by to respond to your comments, questions, and suggestions. Just like that, Travis R. says, hey guys, have a good day. Thank you, Travis.
Hey, Travis.
You have yourself a great day as well. In fact, can we get you something to drink? Oh, I guess it's not that virtual. It's a little more virtual than that. Yeah, so gold, exactly, touching another high today, another 7-year high.
Yeah, ever since it broke out of the 14.
Let me ask you this, Edward.
Yes, sir.
Smarty pants. How soon till it touches the highest level it's reached in 10 years?
Then I'd say we're probably going to do that sometime in the next, just by the way it's looking, and anything can change. It may
That would imply that you knew what the highest price in 10 years was.
It's 1920, I believe.
Yeah!
Around 1920. It might be 1905, 1910.
Yeah. Do you notice that every time there's a bull market, it's in surrounding colors? Hi, Nikodomi. Hey, everyone, she says. Look at that. Everybody can see what she says.
Hey. Hay is for horses.
Yeah.
Is that a neigh?
No, that was not an A.
Yeah, neigh.
That was a hey. I just think I heard my mother in my ear. I'm told to sit up. Oh, news with Fraser. Oh, I thought you said sit the fuck up because of my posture. Yeah, sorry, no. Fraser, the news nurse today is going to be the lovely and talented Fraser Toms wearing his fabulous chiffon
Tutu.
t-shirt.
Hey everyone, here's what's moving markets today. Khiron Life Sciences announced today that the appointment of Tejinder Virk as president of Khiron Europe and Franziska Katterbach as chief legal officer of Khiron Europe. As the company expands its global reach, Khiron is pursuing a focused regional growth strategy in Europe with the aim of capturing market share in the region's estimated 115.7 billion euro medical cannabis industry. Khiron's ability to expand into the region is strengthened through the recently signed EU-Mercosur trade agreement, a key treaty that enables the company to leverage its Uruguayan assets to support its European infrastructure. CannTrust Holdings received a report from Health Canada notifying the company that its manufacturing facility in Vaughan, Ontario has been rated non-compliant with certain regulations. CannTrust has accepted Health Canada's findings and remedial actions are underway. Canopy Rivers announced that it has received conditional approval from the Toronto Stock Exchange to graduate from the TSX Venture Exchange. Rivers will list its Class A subordinated voting shares on the TSX under the same ticker symbol, RIV or RIV. Acreage Holdings announced the launch of new cannabis consumer products as part of its House of Brands strategy. The launch includes products from 3 new Acreage developed brands, The Botanist, Natural Wonder, and Live Resin Project. The Botanist expects to launch a line of high CBD tinctures in Iowa this month. Natural Wonder has launched a microdose sublingual breath spray available on select dispensary shelves in Oregon. Live Resin Project is expected to launch live resin products and a variety of raw concentrates and easy-to-use vape cartridges in California later this month. BevCanna Enterprises announced the debut of its latest cannabis-infused brand, Groove Beverages. The Groove Beverages brand represents an easy-drinking range of cannabis-infused iced tea beverages. Blueberries Medical announced a non-brokered private placement of up to $3 million, issuing up to 12 million units at a price of 25 cents per share. Each unit will consist of 1 common share and 1 35-cent share purchase warrant. And M. Hardeen Group has submitted its evidence of readiness package to Health Canada. The company have also completed construction on Phase 1 of a retrofitted indoor cultivation facility in Winnipeg, Manitoba, which is the largest in the company's portfolio. And that's your news for today. And for more, make sure to go to MidasLetter.com and click on Cannabis Daily.
Anyways, so yeah, shit's going sideways. The world is actually very slowly blowing up. The financial system is actually in the midst of a disintegration, yet again, that is going to make 2008 look like a picnic, an absolute picnic. Do you know why this is happening? Do you know why this is so scary right now? Let's take a look at the S&P chart right now, Ed.
Okay, it's on.
Okay.
What time frame? Give me a time frame. 3 months?
3 months, yeah.
Okay.
So
each one of those is 1 day. Each candle is 1 day. Okay.
now we know that Donald Trump, in his infinite wisdom as economist-in-chief of the United States, which he has now appointed himself, is convinced that the way to win a trade war is by having a low U.S. dollar value. And what better way to lower the dollar value in the United States than to cut rates, right? Dollar doesn't pay, why would I lend for dollars when I could lend for, well, why would I lend for dollars when I could lend for rupees at, a slightly higher premium? The United States can't raise rates now because it is on the verge of the point where the entire GDP of the countryside, the entire revenue of the whole country is being directed to paying the goddamn interest.
Yeah,
So-
but who owns the money that they're paying the interest to? All of the government's friendly billionaires.
Well, that's the thing.
It's a
That's the thing, when we focus on with geographic divisions of economies and entire economies and economic systems, that's really very misleading because these guys operate as bands of billionaires that go around the marketplace, look for opportunities. Doesn't matter what country it's in. There are no borders for these guys. They say, oh, you know what? The price of bananas in Costa Rica is about to drop through the floor because they had a bumper crop. Whereas the price of bananas on the consumption side is going to go through the roof in London next year because where they get their bananas down in Africa is having a horrible year. And so they just exploit that. Anyways, that's a very facile way to explain the world economy and the band of billionaires that we call the elite financial. Anyways, Boulder King, greetings from your... Oh, we didn't see that. There was something there. It said something for just a second. Let's try that again. Greetings from Europe, Germany, everyone. May we have a green earning weeks coming. Well, that might happen, but I doubt it.
when 1919, in 2008, 2009, when the world blinked and Bear Stearns went under, Lehman Brothers, the one shining star, remember, was gold. Gold kicked in a little after that, and then it went straight up to $1,900 plus.
$1,920.
Yeah.
Which was essentially... what was that like?
Well, now you
8 times the money from 2001.
Yeah, and so now we're starting to see gold start to move as the market looks. So could we be? There we go. You just had a comment from Jordan Botha. Gold will end the Fed and the corrupt international banking cartel. There you go.
Gold will end the Fed. Well, that's there's one small problem, is that the U.S. does still possess the most powerful military in the world, and if they want to come up with a reason to go steal the gold, then they will do so. And they have confiscated it from private citizens in the past. I believe it was, what year was that, Edward? And what was the cause of that? We'll have a look at that and come back. We're going to be talking about gold a lot here because what is about to happen, what is already happening, is gold has broken out of its long cold winter, which was only made possible thanks to the
printing of
duplicitous malregulation of the Commodities and Futures Trading Commission, the commodities industry in its entirety, and the elite U.S. dollar interests who actually control that. Now that sounds like tin hat, wooden sword waving bullshit, and it has been, admittedly, and it will continue to be until it's a thing of the past. And then everybody will say, oh, Nouriel Roubini predicted that gold was going to go to $10,000 and, and all these bozos in the U.S. will get all the credit. Meanwhile, we've been banging our tin swords against each other's heads for quite some time. Well, they're taking off physical holding. James, I'm excited to read your gold article mentioning, Friday. Thank you. We got to make sure to address whether you're taking physical holdings, ETF, or futures options. I have 5 1-ounce gold bars plus this ring. That's the extent of my physical holdings.
Yeah.
I have been buying Galani Gold,
Which is a producer,
and is our client.
Low-cost producer.
By way of disclosure. Because they're a client and because of my new relationship with one of the top legal minds in the industry, I have to disclose that I will not be able to sell the position in the junior that is our client until at least 45 days have elapsed since we last mentioned them and last serviced them in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
So, that is to say, for me to be buying it now, knowing I can't sell it till 45 days after I stop talking about it, is, I would say, pretty strong evidence of my conviction that I'm going to be buying lots of gold. I've actually started to buy a silver company in large capacity, which is it's actually technically not yet a silver company, but there is a silver play coming. And the reason I like silver even better than gold at this point in this market is because there's a pattern in history that seems to repeat itself. And the pattern is that every time gold breaks out from a long-term low, the first sign of that is the price of gold rises. The second phase of that bull market, if it is going to evolve into a full bull market, is the large producers of gold start to rise. And then they are followed by the small cap or the mid-tier producers, followed by the juniors. So far we've seen the price of gold rise dramatically. The price of the producers has followed suit. The mid-tiers are starting to show a lot of accumulation activity, and the juniors still haven't been touched. So within that mix, silver, the ratio between the number of ounces of silver it takes to buy 1 ounce of gold starts to diminish, meaning the price of silver relative to the price of gold increases faster than the price of gold. The ratio closes to the point where silver is often the commodity that outperforms gold, and so it typically happens in the silver market, the physical silver market, long before it happens in the silver juniors. But that's why I'm buying the junior right now, is because you can buy silver juniors for 5 cents, 7 cents, 3 cents a share. And you're going to have to wait probably maybe as long as 2 years before this thesis fully materializes. And but then, the juniors are going to explode. If you bought a stock for 3 cents and you're selling it at $3, that's not 300%. That's not 3,000%. That's 30,000%, Ed.
We're talking about gold to silver ratio. Back in 1792, the ratio was fixed at 15-1. The average ratio during the 20th century is 47-1.
Right.
And I think right now, it's probably as great as it's ever been, the ratio.
Let's see.
So to your point, if you're ever going to buy silver and short gold, not that you short gold, but this may be the environment where silver outperforms gold.
Okay, as of this moment, what is the price of gold spot price per ounce?
Well, I'm going to use the front month.
Well, we can't really.
Let's use because that's all.
Because then you're dividing future. You're not dividing apples and oranges.
No. We're going to divide the front month on silver too.
But the front month is only 1 month ahead, so then you got that time discrepancy.
But it's Mickey Mouse.
Well, but I'm saying the spot price, you don't have to deal with those variables.
Okay.
So the spot price is what? We'll just go to Kitco for
I was going to just say, let's go to Kitco.
So it's 1508.80 bids. Let's call it 1509.
Yeah.
And the spot price of silver right now is 1704. So all you need to do to find out what this ratio is divide the silver price, or the gold price, by the silver price.
It's about 85-1, right?
88.5 to
I just
1.
took a wild guess.
Not bad for a wild guess. 88.5 to 1 is probably as wide as that gap has ever been, and as wide as it ever gets.
And the day that just to make your point again, the day that gold broke out last week and crossed the $1,500 barrier, I think silver was up almost $1 an ounce.
Yeah.
In other words, I think that day silver was up about 5% and gold was up about 2%.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, it looks like the perfect storm for gold here.
Yeah. So so look at that. The last time gold took off was in when gold touched $1,920 in September 2011, the price of silver was $31.60, and the gold to silver ratio was 31.6.
There you go.
So gold basically really
Doubled
outperformed
faster.
it.
Yeah.
Mr. Jordan both asked if we're bullish on copper. Well, let's just say that I have been buying, and I'm on the bid for a small copper company. Yeah, they're not a client, and they've never been a client. They were a client once, but it was over a year ago. Crown Mining is the copper company that I've been buying, and at this point I bought over 500,000 shares, and I'm still buying it.
Yeah, you can put it pretty well. You'll be able to buy it all.
Well, this is the thing. So yeah, we love copper because, again, in the cycle where metals come back as the hard assets to offset the profligate ways of the central banks, it's gold always establishes the breakout, and then it's always followed by silver, and then copper, and
But
then
copper is more of an industrial thing too, right? You know, and that's.
But there's never been a copper bull market without a gold market to precede it.
I know. I'm just saying that with these trade wars and everything, that's putting a little bit of a damper on copper for the time being. I think.
Yeah, which is interesting. You know, Codelco just borrowed. Codelco is $4.9 billion in debt. And all of Codelco's profits go to the Chilean government. And Codelco just did a raise 4 months after they said they would not need to raise any money from public markets.
This is the giant copper company in Chile, right?
Yeah. How much do you think they raised?
I'm going to say $1 billion.
No, they didn't raise $300 million.
Huh.
They've agreed to borrow. Now, this is the company that gives all of its profits to the Chilean government, and the Chilean government has deferred further investment in one of its biggest contributors to its fiscal budget. Now, what does that tell you? If your main investor and the only beneficiary, the only shareholder who gets a dividend...
Are you suggesting they think the price of copper is too low to spend money right now? Is that where you're going with this?
Well, no, I'm suggesting that the Codelco's days are numbered.
I
think that as an investor in the largest copper company in the world, as the lead investor, as the only beneficiary of any dividends, you've got to have a pretty intense eyeball on that. And is it possible that Codelco's looking around and going, or the Chilean government's looking around and going, yeah, Codelco's great, but look at some of these other juniors out there. I mean, Codelco's grade is going down, their cost of production is going up, their reserves are going down. You've seen the picture of the pit that Codelco mines out of? It's like you can't see the bottom without a telescope. So my suggestion,
it goes right through the earth.
Well, my point is that if your lead investor who gets all the money from your profit decides he's not putting in any more money, that indicates to me that he's banking on the fact that your days are numbered. Because why would you not, if you're a government that just taxes everybody, always has as much money as they need, can borrow more cheaply than anyone in the country, why wouldn't you borrow on behalf of your biggest investee and put it in there, especially when so much of your economy is reliant on that one company?
I don't know.
See, this to me this is indicative of some big thing, but I can't put my finger on it yet.
Smacks of something.
It smacks of subterfuge. Subterfuge and mysteriousness.
Yeah, well, I got it, and the energy thing. I mean, look,
energy. Don't even get me started.
I was at my doctor's place up in Georgian Bay.
Your doctor? Has he got a lot of energy?
Well, they have. If you go to the little, there's a hotel there, and there's a Tesla charging station in Parry Sound.
Do they charge by the quarter
It's free.
hour? The hotel is free?
No, the charging station.
Oh.
For Teslas.
Oh, just for Teslas.
It's free hotel, yeah. Anybody can go.
Well, Parry Sound, you say?
Parry Sound.
Where's that exactly? For those who don't know.
Well, it's deep water, Georgian Bay. You just go right off the dock and you drop about 30 feet right away.
Right off the deep end,
yeah.
huh?
I went off the deep end.
Wow.
A couple of times.
That's comforting. But I don't think that. Like, we could talk for more than an hour about gold and all of the global sort of elements that are converging in what has broadly been described as a perfect storm for the price of gold. We could and we should talk about that for an hour because, reading the pulse, reading the sort of the writing on the wall across the entire investment universe, like all of the hedge funds, the last 10-year Fed auction came up short It was the lowest bid to cover
What?
ratio yet in the history of auctions, at least in the recent term. What does that tell you? Nobody wants the 10-year bill. They're all buying.
Steve Dunn sent me an article that he found on the weekend, and he said, and this article said basically that the chart of the European banking system is at a point right now. If it breaks, the comment was made, the whole financial world is going to be upside down. To your point about currencies, fiat currencies, maybe the banking system's coming to an end. Like Europe's got much more problems than we do.
Actually, Quinn Coleman makes a good point in his, I guess we'll call it a rebuttal of my vapid comment. He says that, wait, Chile cannot spend as it wishes considering international FX markets. Balance of payments matter to countries that aren't a global reserve. Good point. Can't argue there.
Oh,
Can you argue there?
And I choose not to.
But I guess, yeah, well, there you go.
Well, we'll see. It's going to be interesting, but certainly gold's cut a bid.
Gold's got to be.
And the market, something seems a little.
Yeah. Well, as was our theme 2 years ago, often, nobody 2 years ago, you couldn't raise a dime for a gold company unless you were Robert Friedland.
The biggest bank in the world, or used to be, was the German bank, Deutsche Bank. We should take a look.
My point was that
Yeah.
But 2 years ago, we said that what would bring an end to the misfortune in the mining space would be when the cannabis market and the crypto market basically ran their course. The bull markets ran their course, which they now sort of seem to have. Although there is one more big macro catalyst in the cannabis space.
Edibles.
Well, I don't know. Edibles are available.
Oh, you mean the federal approval in the U.S.
The U.S. legalizes cannabis for all purposes.
Okay.
That's a big thing. But that's what I want to point out here is we've been watching this trend for over 2 years, and now it's actually starting to play out as predicted, not 2 years ago, but 10 years ago, and I encourage you to go back and read as far back in the Midas Letter as you can. So this is it. We've had to shut up and eat humble pie for going on 10 years, knowing that this moment was coming, was only being deferred by quantitative easing and zero interest rate policy, and this is the moment of comeuppance is starting to unfold. This is why this is not just a hiccup in the gold price. This is not just a coincidence. This is actually going to rearray the global financial economy and could be actually the event that transposes America's leading role in the global financial system into the China's leading role, especially if they partnered up with Russia.
I just put up a chart of Deutsche Bank, and I got a 10-year chart.
Deutsche Bank.
Yeah, this is the big German conglomerate that's got all the. Now look where it is. It's near $6.80 US or whatever it is, and the high in the last 10 years was close to 20.
And what caused that?
Oh, that's a 2-year chart. Sorry.
Huh.
Well, because they've got problems. Now that's a 10-year chart. Look at it.
Okay, and 10 years ago,
From $60 now down to $6. Now this is the German. This is the Royal Bank of Canada, as it is in Germany. Okay.
Wow.
You got to think that there were and what's their interest rate? Well, it was
negative.
minus 0.5, minus 0.5%.
Shit's going sideways.
Switzerland is over 0.75 and going. They're all going lower. How can they keep going lower?
So this is it. What are the catalysts in the future that will continue to drive gold higher? The U.S. is going to continue to lower rates. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They don't have a choice to do anything else. If the U.S. goes into recession, if the world economy goes into recession, what are they going to do? They're going to have to lower rates even further. And all the indicators are screaming recession at this point. So this isn't something with an alternative end scenario. There's only one way this can end.
We may be coming up to the end game.
Well, the end game for you?
I'm glad that no, because you have a farm and you said I could live
chickens. There. That's right. We're going to get chickens, Edward. We're going to be chicken farmers.
I used to pick up. I know how to pick up eggs underneath the chickens.
Really?
Yeah.
They peck your hand?
Well, you
What
got to
are
be,
you
you got to be,
doing?
you got to be gentle.
So what do you give him a little massage?
Little massage.
Little massage on the coochie coo? You're going to have to show me how to pluck eggs from underneath a laying hen because...
What did you just say?
Pluck eggs. How much eggs could an egg plucker pluck if it could pluck? Okay. I'm not even trying to say that.
Okay. So we've covered the economy.
It's a farm show now. Porky Pig has arrived.
Okay.
What's that, folks?
Let's
Oh, no,
look
that
at
was
maybe
the
we should
rabbit.
look at some of the indices. The indices as per
Wait, comment
Midas
from
Letter.
user. Akim Glazowski says, MJ legalization may get accelerated if a recession looms around the corner. There's a point. Certainly a recession would be a catalyst for legislators to accelerate cannabis legislation. But Bernie Sanders, the burn, said that if elected, which there's zero chance of, he would legalize cannabis by executive order. Now, did we not suggest that Donald Trump at any time in his administration could easily legalize cannabis federally via legislative or rather executive order? And yeah, if Trump starts, if his little policies, like he's basically commandeered the Fed in the most blatant way ever in the history of the Federal Reserve. There is no illusion about independence.
Do you think these guys
possible.
go out and have drinks after?
Well, I don't think they have drinks. I think he just picks up the phone and say, hey, drop that rate or there's going to be trouble for you. And it's like...
Did you see where the other Fed governors come be easy on them? Like,
Yeah.
as if Trump gives a shit.
You'll notice that the Fed governors are always, they're never uniform on any position. They're
never.
always feeding both sides. Why? Because that gives the president the option to be whichever way he wants to go. He wants to go dovish, he can go dovish. Hawkish, they can go hawkish. And they can say that, yes, that was part of the Fed's discourse. So the Fed, as an independent institution, is now very blatantly and clearly a fraudulent enterprise. And I mean, what more do you need to know as an American citizen? Interest rates can't go much lower. That's the only thing Carl Bowden agrees with. Oh, well, so Carl, I'm assuming that you disagree with a few of the things we've been saying.
You know, a few years ago, when rates were really low, I know some guys that have done very, very well using sort of a Warren Buffett kind of approach to investing, and these are guys my age, and they were absolutely certain 2 years ago rates couldn't go lower. What have they done? They've gone lower. Like.
Well, that's just it. They've gone negative.
Now
what happens?
Okay, let's put up the. I'm going to put up the.
Okay, so basically, rates going lower means the bank is charging you for the right to lend the country money, correct?
They're saying to hold your money, we're going to charge you.
Yeah. So what that translates into, if in the future, let's say rates go to negative 20%. Let's say that if you want to use a country's currency, they'll give you some, but you're going to have to pay 20 points off the top. Now, what is that going to do? That is going to drive a division in society so deep among those who have and those who don't have and can't afford, that when you say end game, is this what you're talking about? Where the division, the sort of the societal, the global social contract is broken by the fact that this can't go on, and that's where all of the haves will take everything they can and run off to private islands, while the have-nots will live in like Escape to New York, Alcatraz-like conditions. Boy, that's a scary thought.
Well, and you know, like look at these big companies in the States. All they've done is taken their cash and buying back their own stock. That's what a lot of them are doing. Like it's
check kiting at its finest. Let's take a look at the cannabis industry anyways, because we've been talking about gold for a solid half hour now, and you'll see that it's a uniformly red day, and certainly CannTrust's tribulations have not assisted that.
Let's take a look at that chart. Let's take a look at that.
So the large cap index is down 1.07% to 8,665. That's its lowest level since April of this year. The Midas Letter small cap index is down to 1271, down 0.5%. The Midas Letter Venture Index is down 0.5% to 684.55, and the CSE Index is down 1.54%. You'll notice that the CSE tends to mimic the Midas Letter Large Cap Canadian Index more because a lot of the Canadian CSE listed cannabis companies are in fact American large caps. Who, you might ask? Well, let's take a quick look. Who's moving the market around? Largest company by market cap on the CSE Cannabis Index is Cresco Labs, and they're up slightly, but at 10.04. They have a market cap of $5.3 billion. Curaleaf is the second largest with a market cap of $3.4 billion. They're taking it on the chin today, down 3.86%. Harvest Health and Recreation at just under $2 billion in market cap, down a further 2% today. And Trulieve, another large cap at $1.35 billion in market cap, is actually up slightly. But so the industry, this index is largely led by its large cap constituents because the indexes are developed on a weighted basis. So the larger the market cap, the more influence you have over this direction, and that's interesting.
Well, they you know, I haven't seen, well, we've seen a bit of action here and there, but generally speaking, it looks like the bloom is off the rose.
In the cannabis space.
Yeah, until we see something, we need that approval in the States, or we need the edibles to come out.
Well, edibles are already available throughout the United States.
There you go.
CannTab is up 92%. Something must be up. CannTab. We've had them in here before.
What's the ticker for CannTab?
Pray tell. It's TA. What is
Anybody
it?
in production know? Or they
CannTab.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. Let's see if we can see.
Well, it's got to be
Pill. Pill.
That's what I like.
Yeah, it's one of the things that is not a futile exercise is to look around when it's a uniformly down day across all the cannabis indexes, see who's bucking that trend, and then figure out why. Because chances are, if it's a serious catalyst to the upside, whoa, look at that candle.
There you go. So something happened there. Maybe, wow.
Well, we could just call up Richard Goldstein and ask, couldn't we? Should I do that?
Yeah, if you want.
Let's see if I can raise them on the floor.
I see the Planet Hollywood's up another 18 cents. Well, up 18 cents back to around 280. That's held in there really well. They've got the biggest sort of dispensary space in the world, don't they?
Who?
Planet Hollywood.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Richard, James West here. Can you give me a call and let me know what's going on with CannTab, please? Cheers.
You're on the show. You're live.
There.
Tilray's hanging in there, holding the 42 level, 43 level. Weeds around 40, same thing, holding.
Yeah.
The big ones seem to be holding.
The big ones are holding.
What do you think about this move on CannTrust?
Well, CannTrust is such a broken story now. I mean, there's really there's no white knight riding over the hill. There's no cavalry to rescue them. It's just like we're just now waiting for their licenses to be pulled. We're just now waiting for the asset sale to be announced. I'm really just waiting for the bankruptcy protection announcement and the receivership announcement. Is all there is left on our CannTrust, if you ask me. You saw the story today that now they found that in their second facility they were also not legal. Yeah, that's today's news. There you go. You thought things were bad. Here, have another piece of bad news. The stock actually is responding like it doesn't quite understand that yet. But yeah, Health Canada has found fault with cannabis production at the second CannTrust facility a month after regulators froze sales at their Niagara operations. But yeah, so CannTrust is like about to get beat up again.
Well, it is getting beat up. It's $3.
So this is the Vaughan facility now that has now been dragged into the muck. So this is why I say there's just zero chance that there is a rainbow at the end of this shit show.
And again,
CannTrust.
more and more companies going public, which is dilution for the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. Trust 303. So that's the that's a 1 month chart of well, that's Chronos. Sorry. Oh, we can look at Chronos too. We Chronos is flirting with its 6 month lows.
Yeah.
And they got all this cash. Just seems like, and we're heading in heading into September.
Yeah, well, so this is still consistent with the summer drift. The summer drift, absent a sector-wide catalyst, and really what other sector-wide catalyst could there be? Pull up a chart of Oxley if you can, Edward, XLY.
Yeah.
And you can see how, so Oxley had announced that $123 million investment from Imperial Tobacco, which actually turned out to be let's just say it was just enough to cover their debenture payment.
Here we go. Here's a 6 month chart of Oxley. Now there's the big move. Shot up to $1.08, and then and look at Friday.
Yeah.
That red candle. Look at that.
Down into the hole you
back,
go.
I don't think this company has shown any revenue to speak of.
No, it's like it was less than $1 million, I believe, off of cannabis sales.
And you know what? At the end of the day, you got to have revenue, or else you're going to have to keep raising money, and people are going to get tired of giving you money.
Yeah. Yeah. Well put. One of the more alarming things. Now, I want to demonstrate by this next little segment here how certain media enterprises are aligned to undermine the credibility of cannabis. Ed, what the hell is that going beep, beep, beep on your thing?
Oh, that's just you want to shut that off?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I'd like to.
Thank you. So there's an article that comes out in the Global News Network in Canada, which is a bit of a backwater. But there's this story. Here's the headline. Why do some victims of a cannabis vomiting syndrome avoid it after switching to legal weed? And I thought, that's odd. There's some weed out there that's making people vomit, and they're cured when they switch to legal weed. But then when I jump into the story, it turns out that this condition called cannabinoid hyperemesis is only found in people who smoke a lot of cannabis every day. So I thought, that's interesting. But legal cannabis doesn't cause this problem. And the story says that the people who are reporting this story are saying that when they switched to Ontario cannabis weed, the vomiting didn't happen. So there must be something in Ontario cannabis weed that's
And what's the condition called? Cannabinoid?
Hyperemesis.
Is that your nemesis?
My nemesis? No, I don't. Cannabinoid does not make me sick. But I was thinking about alcohol. If you drink a lot of alcohol every day, it probably makes you sick. Would you say that's a fair assessment? You'd probably throw up. You probably have vomiting.
No,
There's a quantity of alcohol that you drink at any given time frame that is going to make you vomit. I don't care if you're Hercules.
Really?
You didn't know that?
Like, if you drink, do you ever try drinking rubbing alcohol? That'll make you puke.
Yeah, that's a good point. Anyway, so this is where there's still a persistent negative bias in certain media sources towards the whole idea of cannabis legislation, which unfortunately supports the concept that mainstream media is increasingly guilty of fake news.
No.
Fake news.
Another acolyte of Donald Trump is born.
Well, Donald Trump has got a lot of interesting skills. I don't support his devastation of the global economy, and the new world order has basically been forever changed by Donald Trump to our detriment, to his detriment too, but he's too harebrained to see that. However, there's some of the tricks that he's got up his sleeve that just astound me, and it's I just could never be that much of a cunning lowlife to come up with that. Yeah, like accusing the news of being anything but acting in the public interest. But yet here we have a case right here from Global News of media acting in contrary to the public interest by trying to portray cannabis from illegal sources as being superior to cannabis from government sources. That's fake news, pure and simple. So, I would like to ask the author, Patrick Kane is the author. Patrick, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on the show and ask you a few more questions about the wording of your article, because really, legal weed doesn't cause the same problems that illegal weed does? Okay.
So what'd you think of our buddy boy, not our buddy boy, he's not our buddy boy, but this guy they found hung in his jail after he was on suicide
Oh, your buddy. Your buddy. Your buddy. What was his name?
He was a kind of a buddy. I think his name was Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, and I know he's got a lot of dope on a lot of people in powerful places.
Well, so this is one of Trump's unbelievably, like I read it on the weekend somewhere. Trump floats conspiracy theory that Democrats have killed Jeffrey Epstein in jail. And I'm reading this and I'm like, what the fuck why would the Democrats want to kill this pervert in jail?
Well, because Clinton was a big traveler apparently on the Lolita Express.
The Lolita Express. Oh, so Clinton and Epstein were buddies? And
Well,
so you're suggesting that Epstein wasn't just a diddler, he was also a procurer of
they say
victims of diddling?
he supplied young ladies to very
buddies.
powerful people.
Really?
Well, that's why he's in jail, because they picked him up on a private jet flying back from France, threw him in the slammer.
Oh, well, so maybe it's not really a theory. Maybe
Well, there's a picture floating around of Hillary Clinton being the nurse that's in the jail, and she's going around. No, this is some of the shit that people send me. You know, I'm not spreading rumors here, folks. All I'm saying is,
sounds like you.
keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. You know? No, you know, we live in a world. Come on. If you've got $1 billion or $2 billion lying around.
I saw a picture of Melania Trump and Donald Trump in a photograph with Jeffrey Epstein and his alleged chief madam,
That woman
Maxwell.
Yeah. That's the big publisher's daughter or granddaughter.
Which big publisher?
Maxwell, the big guy, the big newspaper baron.
Maxwell.
Yeah, what's his name? I think there's a Maxwell
Oh, so
from Australia, right?
Oh, you mean Murdoch?
No, there's a Maxwell.
Okay.
And she's related to him.
Big pop in Rivers volume, somebody's saying here. Reefer Aljoint. Oh no, that's veteran and humble analysis. Big pop in Riv volume.
Riv's moving on to the TSX. Okay, let's put it up.
Oh, okay.
Let me take a look.
Is that cause for a big move? Actually, Narby Alexander is going to be our guest on Midas Letter this week, so we'll have to ask him why the big move. And maybe he's coming here just to tell us. That would make sense. Who else would want to be on our show?
Canopy Rivers, 248, had a big drop on Friday, and now it's stabilized a bit, around 250. That's way downtown.
Wow.
Wow, that's about as low as it's been. Look at that.
Yeah. Our sponsor of this show is Halo Labs. Halo Labs trades on the NEO exchange under the symbol HALO. You need to visit them at their website, halocana.com. Halo is a purveyor of extracted cannabis products and is selling extracted products in their operations through California, Oregon, and Nevada. They are the exclusive vendors of Dab Tabs and the Shatterizer in the state of California. They are our sponsor, which means that they have paid to be mentioned on the show, and that does not change the fact that their stock is on fire and has suffered a major reversal, and probably because their company is doing so well in terms of building market share through their white labeling program. That would be my guess. Anyway, so yeah, they are a client and we're not to be trusted. That's the quick and dirty on that.
They really had a big move on Friday.
It did, eh? So what other big market news, Ed, is there, do you think? Like, I want to know what's going to happen this week.
The banking system in Europe seems to be coming unglued by virtue of what we're seeing with Deutsche Bank, and there's a few others in there. I'm going to do some work tonight, and I'm going to get really boned up on this.
Okay, boned up.
Yeah,
Woo.
bone up.
Okay, let's take a look at what the big traders are on each of these, each of our Canadian exchanges. Interestingly enough, Eco Atlantic Oil and Gas is the high trader. Oh, that's in dollar volume cents. Let's just see at active traders. Engagement Labs, 12 cents. Sorry? No. Anyways, so yeah, Engagement Labs volumes of, whoa, what's going on here? 75 million? No, that doesn't make 7.5 million shares traded, up a penny to 12 cents. Zinc One or Oxley Cannabis is the second highest. No, sorry, Nexus Gold just took that role. So there's the first symptom of the thaw in the junior market, the junior gold market, is when you start to see junior gold start to be the high traders on each of the Canadian exchanges. Canada being 50% of the venture capital that goes into the mining industry, the best barometer of the condition of the mining industry globally there is. So Nexus Gold clocks in a 3.1 million share day on the TSX venture. Blah, blah, spit it out.
Yeah.
Zinc One Resources, well, that's a 2 center, so never mind that. That thing's in the midst of becoming a shell. Goliath Resources, 8 cents. Eco Atlantic Oil and Gas. Okay, so you're starting to see a lot of action in the juniors on the venture exchange. On the CSE, it's still cannabis, cannabis, cannabis. Cureleaf is the high trader on the CSE volume of, oh man, 495,000 makes it the high trader. Oh, that's a dollar volume. That's why. Okay, guess who the high volume trader is on the CSE? World Class Extractions, Pump. Trading last at 12.5 cents, exactly where it closed at last week, on 2.5 million shares traded. And let's see, Resinco, what do they do? Is this another Resinco Cannabis Capital? It's a 2 center, so not really of interest. BevCana Enterprises, 76 cents, up 12 cents.
You know,
Oh,
yeah, Bev Canada, I think they had they're going into the beverage business.
BEV is the symbol on the CSE.
BEV, get it? Beverage?
Oh,
Whoa.
boy, there's a good symbol.
Yeah.
Boy, that was tough to figure out. BevCana introduced the, announced the debut of its infused brand, Groove Beverages. Groove,
And that's
I like
Groove
that.
spelt a little differently with that funny U with a couple of dots on it.
GRU .
I'm a little baffled here by flour.
Flour? That's what happens
They
when
just
you
did
smoke it.
$33 million financing. The stock's below the issue price.
Yeah.
Look at
That
it.
was a broken approach to begin with.
I'm just saying, you'd think it would hold the 410.
Yeah.
Look, it's come down. They've raised $43 million, so they got lots of cash. They're generating lots of revenue. And look, this thing is heading south.
Never mind that. What about Acreage?
Let's take a look.
Acreage is down. Well, it's actually up 36 cents today on 145,000 at $11.30. But
What's the ticker there again?
oh boy, it's a tough one. ACRG.U:*CNX.
That's a tough one, all right.
Yeah.
.U.
Yeah.
ACRG .U. C.
Anyways, did you hear what the upshot was of the
Wow,
the
that's
2 kids who went on the murdering spree across Canada in the north there?
Uh-oh. No, I have not.
Oh, well, supposedly this RCMP are going to give us an update today at some point.
Really?
Yeah. Well, we finally find out they were both found dead in northern Manitoba, near Gillam, Manitoba. But boy, that story kept the interest of the news cycle for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at this thing. This thing traded 20. This was one that came out at $25, I think, didn't it?
Which one?
Acreage.
Acreage IPO price was $25.
And it's now $11.
Yeah.
Looking like it wants to go a little bit lower. It may rally here first. You know, it's overdone. That's the problem, and these things get overdone, and they.
What do you think the effect of the protests in Hong Kong are on the global sort of scenario, global markets right now?
This is another contentious issue. I mean, they're talking about they showed a water cannon. They said protesters could get fined, punished. They're talking about Cathay Pacific employees being thrown in jail.
Does this like sort of potentially represent the first in the total Chinese revolution away from communism and towards actual free market? Do you think that this could be the spark that ignites the contained fury of all those Chinese people who have been living under the thumb of a criminal organization for so long?
Could be.
You know Anthony Scaramucci, who was for, I think, 12 hours the communications man for Trump? He's a guy from CNBC.
No longer? Didn't last very long?
No, he lasted 12 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, he's suggesting that the Republicans are going to replace Trump for the 2020 run with somebody else.
Well, if they do, I guarantee you they'll lose.
If they do, you guarantee they'll lose.
Yeah. If they keep him in, they got a chance of winning. Not that I'm voting for him. I'm saying that's the kind of guy, I mean, come on. Nobody thought he was going to win, and he won. And I think if they keep him, he's win. That's just my view. That's not a prediction. That's my view.
And did you hear about the message that Trump wrote on the back of a picture of Justin Trudeau and sent it to him by mail?
No.
Yeah, apparently Trump tore out a magazine picture of Justin Trudeau, scrawled an odd message, and mailed it.
Really?
Yeah.
But you don't know what he scrawled. Maybe only he knows.
Well, the message was first reported by Axios. It's said to have been written by the U.S. president on the torn-out cover of a May 2017 issue of Bloomberg Businessweek, which featured an image of Mr. Trump alongside a caption reading, "The Anti-Trump." On it, Mr. Trump reportedly jotted a note reading something to the effect of, "Looking good, hope it's not true."
Wow.
You got to say, if that, as a former entertainer in the television space, Donald Trump certainly keeps the country entertained.
Well, you're fired.
Deal or no deal? No deal! Anyways, yeah.
Okay, well, we covered a lot. We certainly covered a lot.
Yeah. Apparently, France is demanding its own investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Apparently not trusting the United States to be very...
But he had connections with France because he just flew in from France.
Well, he obviously had a...
Probably a villa.
France is famous for diddlers, aren't they?
Yeah, Roman Polanski was in France, wasn't he?
Roman Polanski?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He's a famous diddler.
Well, he had a young girlfriend, apparently.
Well, what's the definition? Never mind. Let's keep
say,
this show on
you know what?
Let's keep this show where people will actually
I know
continue
enough
watching.
about that stuff.
You do. We haven't really had a chance to give a shout out to our illustrious and talented and lovely audience, but we should. Jordan Both has been a great participant today. Thank you, Jordan, for that. He says 3 days ago, a federal appeals court unsealed more than 2,000 pages of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, that's coming out, and then all of a sudden, he's no longer around.
Mary Kemp says we didn't cover C-Web. Well, what do you want us to say, Mary? Charlotte's Web has gone even higher again today and is the...
Let's take a look.
Yeah, let's take a look.
That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for.
C-Web trades where?
C-Web trades on the stock exchange.
Just hit C-Web then. 2781.
Yeah.
No. It's trying to.
Well, it's
close to the top. Yeah. No, it's
Every
one of the.
time all those spikes are based on financials. That's what you got to know about them.
Yeah. Look at that. Okay, so let's do a quick little. There we go. Look. There's the high there. This high's a little. Yeah, it's grinding, but look at nice clear spike on that distribution deal.
So I guess you'd call that last spike resistance.
Well, you know what? Yeah, these things, look, they have to have a bit of a correction, and now it's that we got a nice long, on that candle is a nice long tail, trying to grind higher. 20 cents. How many marijuana stocks are near their all-time highs? Let's say that. This is
There's
one
a
of them.
question for tomorrow. If you can answer that, how many marijuana stocks are near their all-time highs? You will win a free, all-expenses-paid trip to Mars with Ed Milewski as your pilot. That is our show for today. Don't forget to hit the little red bell on the upper right part of your screen. Oh yeah, I forget it's over there on the screen. Anyways, got a lot of stuff coming up this week. Tune in, watch us tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you then.